In this video, you're going to learn about a new type of variable called a parameter. So far, we've learned about variables that we create at the top of our stories using the keyword var. These are called global variables because we can use them anywhere in our story. So if you think of your story as the globe, then saying that it's global means that we can use these variables anywhere. So any knot that we want to can use location, and any knot that we want to could use math homework done. Today we're going to learn about something called a parameter, which is different. It can't be used anywhere in the story. It's going to be used just in a particular knot. And this is helpful because it's going to help us reduce the amount of code that we have to write. So, for example, let's imagine over here we have a simple story where we start out and we have the choice of eating yogurt or we could eat leftovers. So we could make that story using 3 knots and no parameters, and that would work, but we'd be repeating code in our eat leftovers and eat yogurt knot. So what we could do instead is make just 2 knots. The start, and then an eat knot where we have a parameter for the food that we're going to eat. So our food could be yogurt or it could be leftovers. So even in this simple little story, we can already go from 3 knots down to 2. So let's take a look at what that looks like in the code. And over here, we have this, so you can see it says you're hungry and open the fridge to find something to eat. You take out a cup of yogurt or Tupperware with leftovers from yesterday. If you choose cup of yogurt, you go to the table, sit down, and eat the yogurt. If we replay that and instead we choose the Tupperware with the leftovers, you go to the table, sit down, and eat the leftovers. So the only thing that changed between the two choices is this last part right here. The rest of it says you go to the table, sit down, and eat, and then it just fills in the food. So when we look over at the code, we still start with a divert to our starting knot. We've got the beginning of our story, 2 choices, each with its own divert. But now they're both diverting to the same knot, our eat knot. And when they do that divert, they've also got parentheses after it, and they put the food that you're going to eat, so either yogurt or leftovers. And when we look at our eat knot, it's still got a name right here, but then it also has a variable name in parentheses after it. So food is our variable name, and in this case, our variable is a parameter. We know it's a parameter because we did not write var food up at the top. So food is our parameter, and we get to use it just like any other variable. So when we put the curly brackets here with the name of our parameter, it fills in over here the value. So when I clicked on leftovers, we did this divert right here, and the word leftovers got plugged into our food variable. So that's how your variable gets the value. You don't actually write equals anywhere. You just look at what's in the parentheses when you do the divert. That's the value of the variable. So here it was leftovers. When we clicked on eat yogurt, yogurt was the value that got plugged into food. So that's why it said eat the yogurt when we did that one. So again, we've got 2 types of variables. We've got our global variables where we write var and the variable name and the equal sign and the value. Those we can use anywhere. Parameters, we don't write var, we just create them right in the knot we're going to use them in. We can't use them in any other knot. So if I added a knot here, I couldn't use food in there because food only exists in this knot. And it gets its value from when we divert to that knot. Now you can have more than one parameter for a knot. You would just, for example, add a comma in here. So it'd be food, comma, and then whatever other parameter you wanted. you could add in there. There's no limit. You can have as many as you want. Just try to keep it manageable, just for the sake of making it easy to understand the code.